Welcome back. So we do quite a few games, challenges where we like to be blindfolded, taste test, smell test, all that kind of things. And so far we've been using cheap eye masks that I got off Amazon, but they're starting to tear up and they're actually a little bit see-through if you got them tight enough, and honestly they're not big enough for my head, so they barely cover the side of my eyes. They're really not comfortable. We've used them for a while, but kind of wanted to personalize them and make something a little more comfortable. So we went through these. We tried to personalize them at first, but they didn't turn out too well. There just wasn't enough structure there to attach to. They wouldn't stick to it, and by the time you got enough on it, then they were kind of hard and kind of rigid and scratchy. With the glue, tried super glue, tried hot glue, tried sort of fabric glue. Nothing really worked. There just wasn't enough there to stick to. Plus you still had these cheap straps that really, this one was a good one, but most of them are already broken. So then we went and found some masks at, I think it was Hobby Lobby or Michael's one, and we tried to personalize them, make them into masks, but by the time you added the felt on the front and then something on the back, because they were kind of rough, and then added the strap, they're kind of heavy and they're very scratchy because there's so much glue around the edges that this was not a good idea. So we had a trip down to New Orleans a few weeks ago to go visit for Mardi Gras, go down to parades, and we picked up some masks in the French market. Actually, they were cheaper than the plain ones. This one is just a plain white mask under the felt. It was like $3.50 or something. These were like 3 for $10 or something. And they're already personalized. Everybody got to pick their own. I think this was Jordan's. And then here was mine. So all we did was take some black felt, black out the eyes, and then put a little, because this felt in the back, this furry stuff is actually pretty see-through. So just put this on here so it wouldn't scratch your face. We can use this quite a few times. We're going to tend to have quite a few more challenges, and we want these to last and be comfortable, because sometimes we do wear them for an hour or so as we're shooting and moving things around and changing lighting and just getting the food prepped. So I want to be comfortable so that they're not fidgeting with them and nobody ends up with all kinds of scratches or ends up tired of just wearing the mask. We can enjoy it rather than worry about this. So this is mine. Put a little stretchy band on it so that you can put it on, it stays close. Can't nobody see out the bottom, around the edges. It's actually pretty comfortable. Even though it's made similar to the other one, it's not that heavy. It doesn't have the felt on the outside and the inside and everywhere else. So this is what we're gonna try to make today. So I've already made a couple. Got kind of the kinks worked out. I'm gonna show you how to make them too at home. So, all right, let's get started. All right, so like I said before, we bought them in a pack, 3 for $10. So this was one that was extra. I'm gonna go ahead and make it for like a guest mask. We'll go ahead and fix it up so if somebody comes over, we'll have one extra and they can use it while we're playing. And that way nobody has to sit out or has to worry about sharing. That way we don't have to worry about not having enough. So first thing I did, they come with little ribbon straps. They do not last long and they don't stand up. They start fraying, and the knots, they won't stay tight anyway, so we want them a lot tighter. They're just hot glued on the sides. I just went on and pulled them off. This one also had a little bit of a crown. It was made out of paper. I just took it off, so I don't need it for what we're doing. So first thing I'm gonna do is cover the eye holes, because this stuff I'm gonna use for the padding is actually pretty see-through. So we need a little bit of cover. So what we'll do is we'll cut us some little eye holes. I didn't just want to cover the whole thing with felt, because actually the felt's pretty smooth. So if you got any spots that aren't tight or aren't up against your face, you can actually see down in the cracks. And the felt's actually not all that smooth. It's not all that soft. It's actually kind of scratchy like a Brillo pad. So we want to just go around the eyes. I don't want to cover the whole thing because it adds a lot of bulk and then gets around your face and gets to mashing. So what I want to do is just cover just enough to go around the eye hole. I'm purposely not going to put any glue right here without the nose because that's the tightest part. It fits right up against your face. So what I'll do is I'll just start right here, work my way around with a bead of glue. So you'll watch here with some hot glue. I'll put just a little bit. I want a pretty fine bead because I don't want it scratching our face and I don't want it bulking it up. So do that and lay your eye patch down. And it should cover nicely. So just want to darken it up right around the eye hole. I'll do the same thing with the other one. So like I said, I want to leave as much room here as you can so that your nose is more comfortable because some of our games require you to be able to smell, so I don't want anybody's nose mashed. I don't want anybody being uncomfortable, and I want it to fit everybody's face as much as possible. So we'll bulk it up right here around the eyes where we have a little bit of room, leave as much as we can in the nose, and we'll try to soften it up with our fur lining here. So next thing we want to do is go ahead and put our strap on so we can cover that with the fur and we won't be able to feel it. So all right, we'll take our, we're gonna take our band. Just got a little bit, I think this was for making shirts or underwear or something. It was in the craft section. So we'll take it and we'll glue one end to the mask right here in the corner. I don't worry too much about having excess glue because now you're going to cover it anyway and it doesn't seem to poke through. Lay it down, get a general shape, start on one corner, kind of roll it so I know where to go. We'll wait on this to dry out or cool off. We'll go ahead and put a little bit hot glue on it. I want to run one bead down the brow. I find if you work on the top, it's easier. Top first. I do about half. You can just follow along the brow. That way you only have to cut just one end. You don't have to cut both sides. You don't really want this to be visible. It doesn't look very good. So now we got half. We'll do the other half. You want it just inside the edge. You don't want to put it over the top. That way you got plenty of room to do it. All right. Now let that cool just a little bit. We'll go ahead and do the bottom side. Again, I'm going to stop right at the nose. That way I don't add any extra to the nose that I have to. Doesn't seem to hurt if you put it around the eyes. You don't have to have it stretched, and it doesn't have to be baggy. Just loosely lay it on, kind of rub it in. Seems to hold pretty firm. Alright, before we do the other side, I'm gonna go ahead and take measure it. I'll measure it from my head. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it. Just cuts with regular scissors, and we will pull this back a little bit. Oh, it went too far. Alright. We'll take it, put a pretty big wad of hot glue down. Now the band is a little stretchy, but I don't think you want it really tight on your face, so I just want it just where it starts to stretch, and then let it go. So now we can go ahead and finish it up. I'm gonna put some hot glue on top. It doesn't have to be dry first, or it doesn't have to be cooled off. Now, you notice there's a little bit of a gap right here in the nose. And if you actually try to run it all the way in and then back out, you'll end up with just a wad of fabric there. So what I've done is you take it and just cut it just up to about right here, and then you can lay it in there. So what you can do is you put a little bead of glue right toward the end, and that'll hold it for both sides. And do one for the other one. And now it covers the whole thing. There's no more gap. And we'll let it cool off for a minute, and then we will trim up the bottom edge. So we matched the brow line, and you don't really see, and you'll see some kind of straight around, but for the most part, they're down below the brow. Alright, so what I found to cut is, you take it, flip it down so that you're going to cut right along the glue. And I'm going to just start trimming. Now you got a little bit of tension against, otherwise you'll never be able to cut it. You want to fold it kind of over the glue, and then trim right up against it. And that way it follows the features and everything. You can do it in reverse. Alright, now you got one that's all trimmed up, got the eyes are blacked out, and it should fit quite nicely. Alright, so we've got it all finished, the eyes blacked out. We got the back, it's got a little soft lining. We've trimmed it up around the edges. So there's a little bit, but it'll wear down over time. I don't think I mind being able to see a little bit of it. And we put a little stretchy band to go around the back. So it should go on pretty smooth. It's tight, can't see around the bottom, can't see at the top. It's very lightweight and very soft. So it I don't think I'll get tired of wearing it. I don't think I'll be irritated to where I won't want to wear it. And that should be it. So look forward to in the next few videos of seeing us wear these during our next challenges. All right, thanks, bye.